Here I have another DD15 engine, and this DD15 engine suffered a damage, a very similar damage than I was talking about recently. All right. Oh, the cats. The cats are trying to get the pizza on the table. I was talking about recently about a problem that happened to another DD15 engine. Then was the oil suction manifold broke. So in this case, I have this other engine that suffered the same damage. See, this piece broke completely, and that engine hasn't even been repaired yet. That engine is still sitting there because we're still waiting for the other person to come and fix it. We still haven't get the the time. I mean, he hasn't get the time to fix it. So this is the other engine block that suffered the damage because of the oil suction manifold broke. So we have two engines with the same problem. That one, of course, suffered the damage, and the major damage happened on the crankshaft. And once it happens on the crankshaft, there is nothing to do. So the only thing will be to take the decision of repairing the engine or replacing it with a used one. In this case, the engine is somehow removed. We already removed the engine, so the process of removing the engine is going to be a little harder depending on the conditions, where you're working, or what tools you have to remove the engine. Removing the engine is not so easy since you have to remove many different components. You have to remove transmission, you have to remove the hood, radiator, and everything. Then it's going to interfere on removing the engine. But once you do that, you can easily remove the engine from the frame, get it off the frame, and get it away from the truck and put it somewhere else. The only problem is sometimes some engines are harder to remove depending on the chassis. Some chassis are smaller, and some chassis have more components than others. So it's going to be a little harder than difficult. In the case of freightliner cascadias, are okay chassis to remove engines. They're not completely hard to do the job, but they have some challenge here and there. But other brands and other chassis can have a very high difficulty on doing this task. And you can see right now, this is the whole process on doing the engine removal. And once you have the engine completely removed from the truck, well, I mean, like it is something pretty easy to do. Once you have it, you can start working on it. You can start moving parts and everything. In this case, because the engine is completely destroyed from the crankshaft, we have to remove it completely. In my other previous videos, I did show you how it is to remove the crankshaft and taking the crankshaft apart and everything. There is a lot of labor then you have to do to actually do this, especially if you're trying to do a full job. Then it's going to be a full overhaul. But if you are just trying to replace a crankshaft, you can do it without taking the engine apart. You can just flip the engine and try to replace the crankshaft, fix the connecting rods, or fix the main bearings that were damaged, the caps or the engine block area, whatever was damaged. You can fix all that and then place a new or used crankshaft in a good condition, and that will be the whole point of, the whole solution to the problem. In this case, its engine is completely destroyed, so we are going to replace the crankshaft, but it's going to take some labor. But up to right now, we are trying to take everything apart since the engine is completely destroyed. We have many components already completely separate from the engine block, and it's going to get a little more because there's still so many components. We still have rails, we still have intake manifold, fuel pump. In this case, we have the whole exhaust components. Turbo isn't here. So, but we have all these components, and we also have all the gear train covers in the back and the gears in the back area of the engine. This whole area is full of those, so it's gonna be a big pallet of components, engine components, and we still have internal pistons, connecting rods, and heads, and the rocker arms, the cam housing, so many other things. But well, as you can see right now, before in my other video I was saying that this is a very common problem that happens, and you can see clearly right now that that's a very common problem, because there's two engines that have the same problem. And this happens, like we can say, 1 week, 2 weeks after another. So the other engine that I have over there apart happened like 2 weeks ago, and this is right now. So it is a very common, and the reason is because that piece is a plastic piece, so vibration, temperature, and the condition of the rod is going to destroy that piece, and you can see it breaks exactly from the same place. The other one I show, it broke from the same exact place, and this one did the same. And the other video I did many years ago showing another problem like this, it broke from the exact same place. So it's a very common problem, a defect from factory. For some reason Detroit hasn't fixed that. They have to fix that, because that is a common problem that destroys the engine completely. But the major reason why it destroys the engine completely is because drivers don't pay attention. They see that the red light comes on and the engine shuts down completely. So when that happens and there is no oil pressure, you have to stop the engine. There is no reason why to keep the engine running. So if you are driving, if you are on gear, for example, most of the time happens then this piece breaks, especially on manual transmission trucks. You go on gear and suddenly that piece breaks, and the engine is going to turn off. So you still having RPMs on the engine, because the pressure, the speed of the vehicle is pressuring the engine, so it's still rotating. So the lubrication isn't here, but the transmission and all the components are still connected. So the engine is still on rotation, even though the computer is already commanding that the engine doesn't have to be on anymore. So by the time you stop completely, the engine is completely destroyed. So if that happens, as I said before in my other video, if the red light comes on and you have zero oil pressure, all you have to do is make sure to have the engine completely stop, turn off the engine, and don't try to start it back on. Because if you keep on starting the engine back on every time, this is going to happen. Your engine has to come out to replace the crankshaft, and that is going to be an expensive repair. As you can see, there is two engines that have the same problem, and this piece costs around like $190, and the seals probably like $20, and the other things, I don't know, like probably like the whole labor is going to cost around $700. Let's say the most $1,000, the most replacing this component. So $1,000 is going to do $20,000 expense because of that piece broke this one. So it is mostly Detroit's fault, because mostly the problem happens because it is a defect. This problem has to be fixed, and Detroit hasn't fixed it yet. But it is also, then drivers, don't pay attention. I understand why they don't pay attention, because it's very hard to be driving over like 8-9 hours straight. It is very hard, intensive, after you are, thinking that you want to go home and you just want to do that. So I understand the point, but if you see that, at least try to, don't concentrate the stress to yourself. Try to concentrate. Then this is a machine, and this can break at any time, and if that happens, be sure to protect it as much as you can. If you cannot protect it, then that means then it's going to get destroyed. But this is just another video with another DD15 that suffered a major damage, and I hope that I don't make that many videos of this. But if they continue on coming, I'm going to do more videos. This is going to help you to understand what are the causes of the problems, the solutions, and how they can be prevented. Most of the time problems can be prevented, but the problem is sometimes they don't give you time to prevent them, like this one. This right here is going to give you a very small gap of time where you can act to prevent a major damage to the engine. But if you don't respond on time, yeah, engine is going to get destroyed. So that's the reason why sometimes you get to see experiences from other people to understand what type of problems can happen to your truck. And if you see a problem, then the oil pressure drops suddenly and the red light comes on, just don't start the engine again, just let it sit, tow the truck to the nearest repair shop or to the nearest or to your city of destination and repair it, inspect it, because this piece can be broken and that could be the reason why your engine will go bad if you don't fix it, and because that is going to be very uncomfortable for all of you. This is going to be a very expensive repair. But here we have another DD15 engine. Thing is broken, and if you have any questions about this, you can use the comment section below. There you can leave any type of questions or answers that you have about these questions and people is asking. And if you have any experiences about this problem, if it already happened to you, comment below, leave those comments with your experiences or recommendations to prevent this problem, because many people want to understand how to prevent problems, and you probably have different points of view, and that is the reason why it's important to share those comments, because sharing your experience, you can help other people to understand how to prevent or how to fix it in different ways. Check the description of the video. I have details how to send support to the channel so I can continue doing videos like this. Also, you want to send any questions directly to me, go to Instagram, look for me, franciscoamaya YouTube. And this is all I have for you. Hopefully I don't see more engines like this, but if I do, there will be another video with another broken DD15 engine. Thank you.